Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Omar from the Bullish Bears team. It's Sunday morning, 5/7, 2017, May 7th, 2017, and it's about to be 8 a.m. and I'm gonna build a watch list, making a watch list video for tomorrow, then February 8th. These were the stocks that were on my watch list for Friday. Some of these did really well. ESSI has been on my watch list for every day since I think February 2nd. This thing started at 117, it's at 270. I mean, I just keep, it's been on my watch list every day. I don't know who's been taking advantage of this, but if you had been, you would have been making a killing. FNCX is another stock that's been on my watch list a couple of times last week. It was at $55. 55 cents. It hit a high of 105 pre-market, came down, but now it's back up to $1. Um, CRR, another stock on my watch list Friday. It's had a great move Friday at the open. It went from $6 all the way to $7.96 before it washed. Really, really nice momentum. Right here is where you could have got in if you were looking at the one. You just literally let it ride the 9 EMA. Once you're in, you can put your trend line just going up and just kind of watch it go up. On the 5 minute, once it broke the 13 EMA and VWAP, like right in here, would have been a great entry and just ride this all the way up until it breaks. And you see with these two indecision candles, when you get candles like this, it's like you don't know what the stock's going to do. Usually means it's going to be a little bit of reversal. When it came down from a high of 796 all the way down to 748, and then it just kind of continued to consolidate down. Now it's sideways. So, it may continue up. But, just to give you some insight, my watch lists, are pretty good. This thing washed, NTPR. It had no volume though. I mean, this is not a stock that I probably would have traded. Not a good momentum. Probably I'm buying a couple of hundred shares maybe just for fun. But it washed and it's continuing back up. So KGC. Look, another stock on my watch list. 10 million shares. Look what it did. It opened at 360, hit a high of 380. Nice little move up. Rode the 13 EMA on the 5 minute, came down. Look at it, bounced off VWAP. You could have took a bounce off VWAP, but it didn't move much after that. But just to tell you that, a lot of these stocks, that are on my watch list move. Look at Angie, gave you a nice little momentum play at the market open. Sometimes stocks need time to develop, to set up. If you watch this, look at that. Had the higher day breakout right here at 1050 once it broke 1050. So you're watching a stock consolidate. All right, you see this is the high, this is the low. You always want to make sure you have your trend lines there, so that all right, what's the higher day at this point. So you go here, you go there, and this is the stuff that I do in real time when I'm like figuring out if I'm gonna make a trade or not. And you can put an alert to say, let's say you're watching this and you see it go at this time. At this point it's 944, and you see that it's at this high and it's kind of consolidating now, and you want to look at something else. You can right click and you could do add an alert. So create an alert. Where is it? Create an alert, and you can say when stock crosses above or above 1051, what you could just say whatever it is that you want. So you can call it out to say, hey, if stock crosses above whatever price, I'm not gonna do it now, but if it'll alert you. It's actually pretty simple. Here it is. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little sleepy still. Create alert. Here we go. And then Angie stock with stock marks above tip is at 1059. Best create. And then you hit that, boom, and then you can go look at other stocks. So when you start see hit the high and low, and you're kind of like, all right, I'm gonna look at something else, or come back. It'll also alert you on the phone. That way, you can get in. But this happened quick. So let's say you would have alerted it, and you would have saw it, and it's at 1060, it breaks its high. This went from, this was at 1014. By 1023, it's already at its height. So, but you still watch it because you could potentially take it down short. If you see a stock moving, like I show people with the shorting, you watch the stock, you're like, okay, you see the volume going, the MACD's curling, the TTM squeezes up, you see that volume push, and you're like, you see it hit the high. And what's great about Thinkorswim is that you get that little bubble tell you it's the high day. What you do is, you know, you don't have to, but what I usually do, just because I'm just like that, I put my little trend line here and I take a short using this as my stop. So in that 1 minute, when it hits the high, you start seeing the selling pressure come in, right? You're looking at the time of sale, you're seeing a bunch of red print come in. You're looking at the level 2, you're seeing there's a lot more sellers than buyers that's driving the price down, and you take a short position. And you could have shorted this right back down. Look, now you know that you should be comfortable with this short, because guess what? It just created a lower high, all right? And then it bounces. Then what happens again? Creates a lower high, and then it bounces down. That's why another lower high. So, you know, it created more lower highs. So as long as the highs keep getting lower and lower, I mean, it's a clear short all the way back down, all right? You know, and that's how you. So let's say you had missed this initial one, and it comes in, it pops here. You know what I'm doing? Then I'm taking a short position using this as my stop loss, or maybe I say, you know what? I'm gonna risk. I'm gonna use this as my stop, but really I'm definitely out if it breaks 1097. You know, and you know, so you could decide. You know which one you want to do. So that's how I trade, guys. You know, once you start understanding these things, these patterns a little more, you're gonna see that it's not as hard as you think once you understand patterns. So I'll just remove all drawings, and I could do delete, cancel alert, and I'm out. Thinkorswim is I just downloaded Interactive Brokers yesterday. Started playing around with the platform. Man, it's just there's nothing like Thinkorswim platform. I don't know why anybody would use any other platform for charting. It just doesn't make sense to me. Thinkorswim is just far superior than anything else. It really is. You know, and you know, you can negotiate them to down to $4.95 a trade. And if you can get them on $4.95 a trade, use them for buying. You're probably gonna want another brokerage for shorting. If you're gonna be shorting dog shit companies, because they suck for shorting. If they figure this out, man, they would just corner the market really. But I don't know why they're not invested in it. They should be. But you know, they got big brokerages. That's why they don't give a shit about small dog shit company shorts. All right. So with that said, let's build our watch list for tomorrow. So I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna go create watch list. I'm gonna put tomorrow's date 5/8/17. And save, and you know, I do my scan. For those of you who watch my videos, this is my criteria. I look for stocks between 20 cents and $30 that are 5%, with a volume of 500,000 shares or more. I hit scan, and we got, this is the most amount of stocks I've ever seen. 137 stocks. That's fucking insane. I've never to be honest with you, since I've been trading like about a year now, and I've been doing watch lists probably not a whole year, maybe like, you know, the last 8 months, you know, I've never seen anything like this. 100, the most I've ever seen before this was maybe 80 to 90. 137 stocks. I don't know if I'm gonna go through 137 stocks. This is gonna be very long, but let's just look through some of these. You know, watch list. You don't need all of them stocks. I give you a big watch list than I normally would, because you know, I'm just giving you variety for those of you that like to, you know, different types of plays and stuff. But let's go through this. The biggest percentage gainer was DAIO. Let's look at the stock. So, yeah, you know, it didn't have a lot of volume, but over the last 5 days, it was 471, and now it's 598, and it's probably increasing volume. If you look at this, it looked like nobody traded this. So you know what? I'll put it on the watch list just because it doesn't have a million or more shares, which I like to look at it. But it looks like it's a low float, right? It has 8 million shares, so it's on that low float category, and you know, it's increasing its volume. It's probably not. I don't know if it's. I think it's analyzed. So you know, the street gave it a buy. I don't know what its average volume is. I would have to look at my other thing. I could go into, you know. I don't want to do it. It's gonna take too much time. But I'm assuming that this stock is probably trading above its normal average volume. You could go to FinViz or, you know, stockcharts.com and all that stuff to see. So we'll see. Maybe, you know, got some news, and sometimes when news happens, you know, it looked like it beat estimates. So that's why it's running. So it has a catalyst. So maybe it'll move more Monday. We'll see. ESSI again. This is going on my watch list. This thing just keeps running and running, guys. If you would listen to me on this day, I think this is the first day it showed up. It was at 150, and it's just been running ever since. And it's gaining more momentum. If people are starting to pay more attention because it just continues to go up and up. It's a cannabis stock. So give it a whirl. You look at the yearly though. If we look at the 1 year chart on this stock, it's getting to that point where its next resistance point is 290 and then 3. So my expectation is they had 4 green days. I mean, either tomorrow or Tuesday it should start pulling back hard. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So with that said, let's keep moving on. CRC. Let me go back to the 1 minute 2 day chart. CRC had a great move. This stock was $10 the day before, Thursday, and it went to 12. It opened up at 11.16, and this thing just completely ran. I mean, look at this. It's crazy. Right here's the higher day breakup. So once it broke this out, look at the volume bars. That's how I know to get in and out of trades, guys. Like, some people ask, how do you know? As long as I see more volume than selling. So, like, if I look at this, I see, all right, it's a push. And I see that this green bar is still higher than this red bar. It means that people are taking profit. And then, you're getting some more volume, right? And, you get a little bit of selling pressure. But then look at all this volume getting in. And then this is people taking profit. And then you get more volume pushes, so it keeps going up. Now, if I'm looking at this, as soon as it broke this, I'm in probably this candle 1174, and I'm just riding this up. As long as it's above the 9 EMA, I'm good. Or you put that little trend line, so you watch the go above the trend line, and as low as it's above the trend line, you're good. You should be fine. I also see somebody do something the other day was pretty unique. They put a trend line on their MACD. So they put a trend line here in the MACD so that they could watch the MACD, which I never thought to do before. But if you're in a stock like this, and they also put a trend on the MACD, because as long as the green is above the red, you get all that space, you get a lot of buying pressure. But look what happens here. It's just like the candle. As soon as it breaks down, you get that little crossover. You could do out. So some people use this, the MAC. They put trend lines even on the MACD, which is nothing I ever thought of. I mean, let me just remove. Nothing that I ever thought of doing. But it theoretically it makes sense. Now let's say you missed this move, right? And usually by like 10:30, I start liking to look at the 5 minute chart, because you're starting to get less volume, things get a little bit choppier. You see right here that this is the new support level, right? So you find it's new support level here. And let's say you missed the stop, right? So you're like, okay, oh shit, I missed the entry, right? But you see that it bounced. Here's the new support level. So you see it. Let's say you missed this. So, but you notice now, guess what? It bounces off the 13 EMA on the 5 minute, which looks a lot cleaner than the 1 minute. All right. Right here, right when it starts bouncing up, and you see that it breaks above, right when it breaks above the VWAP and 13 EMA, I might have taken a trade on this right here. All right. And because it's consolidating sideways, and then look what happens. You get that nice little push up, and this is why I love shorting, because when I see stocks like this that have their moves, right? So I'm looking at the 1 and I'm looking at the 5, right? So this is another entry to go long, and you watch it now. Eventually it's gonna have a wash, right? So you're watching the stock and you're seeing that the MACD is curling, it's going up, TTM squeeze on the 5 too, but you're gonna see that it's starting to reverse. Even though it's still running, you see that it's reversing, and you know what? The MACD was right, because look what happened. It starts washing. Now, this is why I feel like shorting is so easy, because when you're watching this, look, you're feeling that head and shoulder pattern. So here's the shoulder, here's the head, here's the shoulder, and then here's the wash. Now, what I do is, as soon as I see this happening, this is me, I put like little trend line, say, okay, it's at 1298, which is reversing right below a whole number, right? Because the whole numbers are psychological resistance barriers. So I'm saying, shit, I'm watching this, I'm waiting, I'm watching it run. I'm like, this shit is going to wash at some point. And sure enough, boom, it breaks it. Now, once it starts dipping, and I see the MACD curling, I see the TTM squeeze happening, I'm taking a short position using the higher day as my stop loss, So I would have just gotten short like somewhere in here, you know, and just rolled all this all the way down. Now you don't know how far it's gonna go. Look what happened. It means this thing completely washed, you know. But look what happens: lower high, then up, lower high, and up, lower high, and up, lower high, and then bound, and then it starts gapping up, but it's sideways, still breaks low, and it just continues to wash, and then this thing kind of weird because then it forms this U-shaped pattern and then it breaks out back above. So you could have held this all the way down and covered right in here with the strength and made a nice trade shorting this, and then you see the U-shape. When you see the U-shape, people look at the pattern and they trade this. That's all it is. They just saw the pattern and they just got in based on the pattern and rolled it back up, And it's a little choppy on the 1, on the 5, it's a little cleaner because look what happened on the 5. It washes, and look, it holds right above VWAP, and right when it breaks above VWAP, the 13 minute, you just took this right back up. That's why I like to look at both the 1 and the 5 minute, And this is like if you have the time to watch a stock, and watch and trade all day. Not everybody has that luxury, But it looks like people took profit, and now it's holding, support 1233. I mean, this probably had some news. Surge on earnings. So you know what? It had great earnings. I'm gonna put on the watch list just because of that, and it may continue to run Monday because of that. It's a little high price stock, but that I'm just trying to give you incentive to kind of understand how to get in and out of trades. ECR is another stock. 116 Thursday. This thing went all the way up to 217. That's volume. How many shares this thing has? 262 million. So it's a lot. This is one of those slow. The bigger, the more the shares a stock has, the slower it grinds up. The less shares it has, the quicker it can move up. I'm not. This thing could potentially continue up. I mean, it was at 187. It's at 217 after hours. Look at the 1-year chart. Yeah, this thing is so. This was very, very low. I mean, it could continue up to like 222. And, it has a lot of resistance going all the way back up. I don't know, but the last time it had a green day, it had one, then it had red, then it had 2 sort of green days. It came all the way back down. I don't know. I'm not going to put it on my watch list. I think it's going to move too slow, but you can. Here's the dog shit, the mother of all dog shit companies, Drive. Now, Drive is a great stock to just short. This stock will eventually be worth, it's going to get delisted eventually, and it's going to be an over-the-counter stock. They just keep reverse splitting to offer more shares to keep pumping it because people who don't know stocks, hear, oh, I heard about this company called Drive, and and they heard, is that the company that went from $10 to $120 in like 2 days, and they think it's gonna happen again, but they don't understand the fundamentals that this is dog shit, and they're just manipulating the stock because people like that continue to buy shares of the stock with the intent of thinking that it's gonna be worth something. This is dog shit. What you want to do is if you want to look like, had I seen this move, I would have traded it just because of the pattern and made a trade on it. I'm not holding this thinking that it's gonna be anything. I'm in and out of the stock, so my expectation is it's gonna come down more Monday, and it'll be a great short. So look to short it. I won't put it on the watch list on principle. This thing annoys me. People think it's worth something. AMPE, it was 66 cents. Now it's at 97 cents. It's one of these dog shit companies probably being pumped. Look at this. This thing collapsed, and it's been running ever since. It's 54 cents. Just it had this flag for it, and it's up. I'll put it on the watch list, and maybe it continues to run. We'll see if it breaks past $1 tomorrow. If it breaks past $1 tomorrow. Maybe it continues upward. Maybe it has a little push. Maybe it gets some volume because it has the potential. If it can get past 103, then 105, then it can go to 110 and then maybe 114. And then if it can get past 114 and really work its way up to about 147, there is no resistance all the way up to $3. So you can slowly watch it. See what happens tomorrow. I mean, it's not a momentum play. This is more so you just buy and you're holding, We'll see what happens. I'll put it on there just so you can watch it. I'm gonna stop at like 15 stocks, just because this video would take, I'll be here forever doing this. There's so many stocks. But I'll send out a watch list, see other things. BZUN, look at this. It went from 15 to 17. There has to be some like moves or something. I mean, but because a stock like this it gaps up so much that you got to think that tomorrow it'll probably, doesn't mean that it's not going to continue to go higher. It just means that it's going to be, there's going to be a pullback and people are going to take profit. You can short into that. Now, what you should do is you should always look to see, okay, so if you go to level 2, the close price was 1766. So you can put, a trend line, and I don't know if they could swing. I don't know if they have like a line that tells you the previous day's close price. I have to find that out. But 1766 was the previous day's close price. So if you put a line there, it's alerting you that tomorrow when the market opens, you say, hey, if it breaks below this, that's called a green to red move. That means the stock is drawing, it's dipping below the previous day's close price. Because the previous day's close price is the price that the stock closed at 4 p.m. when the market closed. So if it dips below that may create some selling pressure, and this stock may bounce back to 1730 and then continue upward. We'll see. So, or, it may just go, continue just green on up. So, these are things that I share with you when you watch my videos. A lot of people use these kind of plays. So you should know what the previous day's close price was, and you should put a trend line where that price is. Because if you dip below that price, that could create a lot of selling pressure. If it goes below and then goes right back above it, that's called a green or red move. Red to green move. When the stock goes below the previous day's close price and goes back above that price, that could create some buying pressure because people are looking for that play. Next up, ARN. ARN is another stock that kind of ripped at the market, got to 235, and it's just sideways now. 1.5 million shares. If you look at the stock, this is a $4 stock at its height. It's at 236. His next resistance point is 249. And you got all these little resistance points all the way up to 270. And there's a lot of resistance going back up. I don't know if it's going to continue to go back up. It could move. It had a nice move at the open. That would have been a great trade. That's a great momentum trade. This is what is this? Is this an oil stock? I'm not sure. Approach Resources. It's an energy company. Yeah, you know what? I would put this because it looks like oil. All indications are oil is gonna move back up supposedly. So you know what? Let's keep it on watch for tomorrow. Maybe it has another pop at the open based on that. We'll see. All right. So next up, DO. Look at this beautiful move up, man. Look at this stock. And you watching this on the one. You just riding this the 9 EMA. Look at this. It just goes above the 9 EMA the whole time. I mean, it's choppy. You're not really sure. But a cleaner look would be on the 5 minute. It gaps up, has this pullback. This would have been your entry. It really pretty much broke above both and just stood above the 13 and VWAP all day. So you're not sure if it's gonna pull back. So this is a situation that if you decide to chase it, because at this point it's so far above the 13 EMA VWAP, you want to kind of wait to see it bounce off the 13 EMA VWAP for an entry, because you're not sure what it's gonna do. If you're gonna have take the chance to make a trade on this, then you definitely want to have a trend line and say, all right, it kind of sort of pulled back here or here. I'm gonna put a trend line to just watch it, and then then it breaks below it. See, I would have not taken a trade because I would have been scared that it was gonna pull back down here, and you can see that 13 EMA here was at this point was at it wasn't that far off. I guess it's not that hard, but I wait for a pullback to see it bounce. So you see where it pulls back and it kind of rips along the 13 EMA. Now here at this point it's sideways. I'm not sure what it's going to do. So I wouldn't trade this until it broke the high of day, which is 1478. And once I would have saw that right there, this would have been my entry. But at this point it's already almost end of the day. So I'm just putting these on. Now, is this going to be on the watch list? Hell yeah, because look at this. It ripped. It's holding its high. It may be a great short, or it may continue high. We'll see. CGI, nope. ERF, look at this. Thing had another, and I think this was on my watch list. And look at this thing went from 674 all the way up to 729. If I'm watching this on the one, it's way too choppy for me to find an entry. So if I was gonna trade this stock, right, because it's just so, you have this gap up here, I would have taken a trade. If I'm looking at the one, I'm seeing the rip, the pullback, the bounce off the 9 EMA, and I'm taking another push up, and then you have the wash, because you had this sort of like sideways, and then it pops, pulls back, pops, then pulls back, and sort of washes a little bit, and then it has another run. Now, to me, it's very choppy here, right? So you're not sure on the one. This is why you're gonna need another time frame. So what I would have done is if I watch this on the, had I watched this on the 5 minute time frame, right here when it hit here, I would have taken an entry. That's 688, and at 703 kind of washed. I probably would have sold right into this because I'm not, once it breaks below 13 EMA and VWAP for a second, my assumption is that the stock is going to continue to wash. But it breaks back above VWAP in the 13 EMA, and right in here, right when it broke above, you see it's pulling back. Right in this candle, the 695 candle, I would have rolled this and rolled the 13 EMA all the way up. But you got to kind of see these happening in real time in order to do this. And for most of you, you're trading with less than 25,000, which means you're going to be part of the PDT rule. So you only get three stocks that you can trade, on a 5-day period if you're buying and selling them the same day. So you got to be very calculated about what you want to trade. But I'm just giving you general entry and exits, just so you know. So CBMX ran and pulled back. Now I'm going to put an ATRC. ATRC went crazy. Look at this. BTE is another stock that had a nice move. Look at this. Up 3 million shares, gapped up 275, found a support. It broke $3, then it kind of washed and consolidated, and then it had a second push. They call this the ABC pattern. A gaps up, pulls back, consolidates sideways, and then it has this next little push. So we'll put it on the watch list because it held its highs. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of movers, man. So many stocks. I mean, it's just insane the amount of plays that there. This market is insane, man. I hope they can figure this out with North Korea and India and Pakistan can figure, because we're in a market that if the news just stays good, I mean, this can continue on for another couple of years. I mean, you never know, but I mean, it just looks that way. It's a BNTC had a nice pop at the open and consolidated. I'm gonna put on the watch this. BTR had a mega move at the open. It's up to $10. It's consolidating backwards. The stock was 857. Probably moved on news. It was a press release. Amplify Snack Brands report earnings. I guess there was infringement, unfair competition. I don't know. There's some sort of suit that drove this up. Not really sure. Delt, CBXP. Things moving up. I'm trying to find a couple of lower price stocks for the group. CRXX. I think I already talked about this. Yeah, this thing ripped, pulled back. I'll put it on the watch list. Even though it kind of it's holding its support over here. So we'll do CRR, and we'll see what it continues to do. Let's see what else am I gonna. Let's see what else. ACLS. Man, this thing went crazy. Look at this. It went from 20 to 22. Look how fast that thing moved at the open. Went all the way up to 22.85. That's crazy. And then look at that wash. See where it's been over 5 days. It was at 18.85. So it's moving. Not gonna put it on the watch. There's so many stocks. Like, I'm just curious. Let me do this real quick. I'm just curious to see. Yeah, this watch list. Well, it says 120, but this is not 120 stocks. I don't think so. All right, let's see ATW. ATW. Look at this move. It went up from 7 to 8, and it's kind of holding and up, gapping up. Let's put that ATW. All right. CYN. CYN's another stock this is a stock that's too choppy. If I was to trade this, I'm looking, because look at how, you ain't gonna know what to do on a 1 minute chart looking at this, right? So, I'm looking at a 5, or when it's like this, you go to the 15 minutes to get a better sense of the stock. And, I would have probably got in once it broke VWAP here, but I mean, I'm not trading this. I usually stay away from this kind of stocks, 580. So let's keep going. CXRX, that 125 is at 151. This is definitely not a momentum play. It has no volume. DCIX, no ACW, ACHN, EWN. EWN was 581. It's been at $9. This thing is starting to rip. I mean, it had a nice move at the open. A little choppy, but it did move. You gapped up. Sort of a indecision candle. Gapped out here, pulled back. Now, is it gonna be on the watch list? I don't particularly love the chart. I'm gonna keep it. No volume, no DLY, no AKG. AKG is moving. I don't like it. APTI. I don't like the chart. I mean, it's overextended. I mean, continue up. It could continue upward. What news here? CO results. Loss. But it looks like it had good sales. That's why it gapped up. You know what? Just so you other guys, I put it on there. APTI, DNOW, DNOW. Now this is what I like. Look at this, just straight up, nice and easy. Look at this move. That's crazy. BNOW. That's absolutely gonna be on the watch list. I mean, definitely look to see where it is over the last year, so you get a sense of the stock. And look at this, it's close. If it could get past this 1828, I mean, this technically is all resistance points, but this seems to be what's really, it has moved to go all the way to another dollar. So yeah, watch it. I mean, this thing could continue up, CHK, I think it got some good earnings finally, and I think that's because of oil and everything right now. It's looking good. I mean, it's definitely choppy. It's hard to get a sense of when to trade a stock like this because it's so choppy. But this may be a good potential swing trade. I think it may work its way back up to $6. If it breaks 550 tomorrow, I'll be looking to see if it can, get back to at least 560. So you can, if you have a couple of bucks, you can go in all in, with a stop loss of let's say 545. If it breaks above 550, at least you're looking for a minimum of 10 cents, and if you can break 560, maybe it works its way back up to $6. But at $6, I don't expect it to go much higher. The stock has a tendency to stay in that range. So I'll put it on the watch list for tomorrow. Let's pull this down. CHK. CPRE. CPRE is another stock that CPE. I'm sorry. Look at this. 11. Look at this. Nice move on the 1 minute. It's just way too choppy to get a sense of what the stock is gonna do. But on the 5 minute, it was clean. Right, once it broke the 13 MA, you just literally just rode it all the way up. So 5 million shares. I mean, CPE is a kind of stock that I love to watch because it's probably gonna have so many shares available to short, and because it had such a big move, I would be looking at it to say, to see what it's gonna do. Like, so what I also do, here's another trick. I don't really talk about it much, but if I'm looking at a stock and I'm potentially thinking about shorting it, what was the close price? So remember, you go to level 2, the close price was 1208. So I'm gonna make sure that I put a drawing at the price level 1208, and now I know. So if it breaks below this, it looks like it got down to 11.99, all the way down to 11.75. The bid is 11.11 and the ask is 12. It's crazy, the spread, but that's because the market's not open. But the close price was 12.08, so I'll be looking to see what this is gonna do. If it gets above it and it dips below it, I'll take a nice short on it, because it's overextended. So, all right, let's keep moving. BRNS, yeah, this thing up, but I'm not gonna put it. DDD, look, this thing, nice move. 3 million shares. Went from 16 all the way up to $17. Nice move. I'll put it on the watch list. Let's see what else we have. VDD. There you go. CNX. Look at this. Another monster move from 14 all the way to 1575. This thing moved really nicely all day long. Held its highs. Sometimes what sucks is that if I find a stock like this and I want to short it, it sucks because you're looking for an entry and you're watching it like a sniper and you just never get it. So right here you could have got an entry. This where this would have been the higher day, but look at that, it quickly bounced and just continued upward. So sometimes you gotta be careful. You don't want to get caught holding a bag. And that's why you always have your high. So let's say if I was watching this stock, and at this point it would have been the higher day, I would have actually put my my trend line or price line, which I like to do, say, hey, if it breaks above this, I'm out. And I probably would have shorted in here and got that little push all the way down. Once I saw it find support here, I got my trend line here, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, it's going above VWAP, right? And especially once it goes, I'm covering, and I would have made my little money there, and then maybe taking it long once I see it break above this, so, these are the little tricks of the trade, man. This is how day trading works. I mean, if you're a good day trader, that's what you do. BVN is, gapped up and ripped. It's holding its highs. It's full found support here. It may continue upward. We'll put on the watch list. We'll see what happens tomorrow, BVN. And let's keep on ACIW. ACIW, wow, it is another one that just went crazy. I'll put it on the watch list. ACIW. So, this watch list is long, and this video is long, but I just wanted to give you a good insight into how to find these stocks. Look at this BSSR, another stock that went and hold the ties. BSBR. And BLDP. So all I'm doing is looking for stocks that are holding their highs, that are above the average value, and with the anticipation that it's going to be volatile the next day. And if it has a catalyst like news earnings or buyout or billionaire play, sometimes they'll have pops in the market open for like several days. So you take advantage of that, and you make a quick trade, and you make your money, and you get out. So I'll put BBG on the watch list, holding its highs. CTRL, another stock that went crazy. Look at that, $16 to $18 in a matter of, what's this, by 10:05, it's up $2. I mean, that's insane, You see something like this, you're like, it's crazy. You make, ECA, another stock that, it's choppy here, but, it had this crazy move at the open, went from 10:39 all the way to like 10:70 by not even 10 o'clock. So I'll put it on the watch list. We'll see what happens tomorrow. So this is what I do. And let me tell you guys, I can go on and on and on and find more stocks. I can find, I can look for stocks that didn't fit into my 5% criteria. And let's see, BAS is another one I put, and then ARS. All right, so that's how it is. Now, let's say this market sucked and I didn't find plays in my scanner. Remember, there's stocks that will be below. So stocks that are 4% or below are not going to appear in my scanner. And I can just go through these charts and look. ANF is 4%, but this is a stock that could go on my watch list because it held its highs. DAR, another stock. Look at this, CRZO, right? It's finished at 4% higher, but look at its holding its highs. Look how crazy it looks. AG is another stock that, went from 7, closed at 750. BCOR, it is CSIQ, I'm sorry. It's really 4%, but look at this, we're at 12, hit a high of 13, pulled back to 1302 and continued higher. So, there's more and more stocks. I'm going to leave my watch list the way it is, but I just wanted to tell you, just give you some insight that there's so many stocks, you can find. And, we got a good array of stocks here. Oops, this is D. All right, there we go. Yeah, so these are the stocks that I'm going to look at for tomorrow, but there's probably more. So, do your research. Look through the stocks and see what plays work for you. And I'll post this up and hope you guys found this helpful, right? Enjoy your Sunday.